In the heart of the Native American wilderness, a young man named Wiyaka felt the echoes of his ancestors calling to him. Wiyaka, you are destined to find the ancestral treasure. It is your birthright, and it holds the key to the future of our people. You have to face 7 challenges that would test your courage, intelligence, strength, temptation, compassion, sacrifice, and virtues etched deep within his bloodline. Follow your heart, trust your instincts, and never give up hope. Driven by a sense of purpose, Wiyaka embarked on a journey to uncover the long-lost ancestral treasure that held the key to his tribe's history and power. Wiyaka's journey began at the break of dawn, his heart filled with anticipation and determination. As he ventured deeper into the untamed wilderness, the whispers of the wind seemed to guide his steps towards his destiny. The first challenge is courage, Wiyaka, at the edge of a raging river. A rickety wooden bridge spanned the torrent, its planks creaking ominously underfoot. Wiyaka knew that crossing the bridge would require both courage and balance. Taking a deep breath, Wiyaka stepped onto the bridge, the wood creaking beneath his weight. He felt the spray of the water on his face as he inched his way across, his heart pounding in his chest. One wrong step, and he knew he would be swept away by the relentless current. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Wiyaka reached the other side of the bridge. He collapsed onto the bank, his body trembling with exhaustion. Buddhas! He caught his breath. He couldn't help but feel a surge of exhilaration. Deeper into the woods, strange symbols began to appear on the ancient trees. Wiyaka followed these markings, feeling an invisible hand guiding him towards a destiny unspoken. The path led to a shadowy cavern, its entrance wide and foreboding. From within, a low growl echoed, sending chills through Wiyaka. Yet he pressed on, heart pounding as he approached the source of the sound. Suddenly, glowing eyes pierced the darkness. The beast, with its fur as black as the darkest night and claws sharp like daggers, emerged. Its growl grew louder, a challenge Wiyaka was ready to face. The cavern filled with the roars of the beast and Wiyaka's determined cries. They clashed, the beast feeding on fear, while Wiyaka drew strength from the courage of his ancestors. The fierce battle tested every ounce of his resolve. Drawing on the wisdom of his forefathers, Wiyaka stood firm. The beast seemed to flicker and falter as Wiyaka spoke with conviction. I fear no shadow, for the light of my ancestors guides me. With those words, the beast dissolved into mist, revealing a path illuminated by ethereal light. The second intelligent challenge lay before Wiyaka, a labyrinth of ancient ruins. He had to navigate his way through the twisting passageways, avoiding hidden traps and solving complex puzzles. His intelligence and quick thinking would be put to the test. Wiyaka ventured into the labyrinth, his senses on high alert. He carefully examined each turn, searching for any sign of danger. His mind raced as he tried to decipher the clues left behind by his ancestors. In the hidden chamber, Wiyaka discovered a series of riddles and puzzles. He had to use his intelligence and wit to solve them, unlocking the secrets of the labyrinth. With each puzzle he solved, he felt closer to finding the ancestral treasure. Wiyaka carefully examines the symbols within each circle, trying to identify their meanings and relationships. He recalls the stories he has heard about the 4 elements and how they interact with each other. He remembers the teachings of his elders about the importance of balance and harmony in all aspects of life. After several minutes of contemplation, a realization dawns on Wiyaka. He understands the underlying principle of the puzzle and how to solve it. With a newfound sense of clarity, he begins to rearrange the circles, carefully aligning the corresponding symbols with each other. As Wiyaka places the final circle into its position, a satisfying click is heard. The 4 elements are now perfectly aligned, creating a harmonious balance within the puzzle. A sense of accomplishment washes over Wiyaka as he realizes that he has successfully solved the puzzle. With the puzzle of the 4 elements solved, Wiyaka knows that he is one step closer to finding the ancestral treasure. He feels a renewed sense of determination and confidence as he continues his journey through the labyrinth. The secret passage led to a vast underground chamber, its ceiling adorned with twinkling stars. In the center of the chamber, a shimmering pool of water reflected the starlight, creating an ethereal glow. Wiyaka knew that this was the place where the ancestral treasure was hidden. The next challenge is strength. The dense wilderness eventually led Wiyaka to the base of a towering mountain. The peak loomed high in the misty sky, shrouded in clouds and mystery. Undeterred by the daunting sight, Wiyaka's resolve to honor his ancestors kept his spirit strong. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Wiyaka began his climb. Every step on the rocky terrain tested his endurance and resolve, but he pressed on, driven by the whispers of his ancestors. Wiyaka soon faced a sheer cliff. He paused to catch his breath, his gaze sweeping over the vast wilderness below, a humbling reminder of the significance of his quest. With renewed vigor, Wiyaka continued his relentless climb. Each step brought him closer to the plateau, the air growing thin and cold as he neared the summit. Planting his feet firmly on the ground, Wiyaka took a deep breath and pressed against the boulder. The stone did not budge, its immense weight challenging his strength. Wiyaka felt the strength of his ancestors surge through him. He closed his eyes and envisioned their spirits, drawing power from their wisdom and courage. With a thunderous crash, the boulder rolled aside, revealing the entrance to a hidden cave. Wiyaka, exhausted yet triumphant, had overcome the first challenge. From the depths of the cave emerged the spirit of the mighty bear, its eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom. It roared, acknowledging Wiyaka's strength and determination. The next challenge is temptation. As Wiyaka journeyed deeper into the heart of the wilderness, the dense forest began to give way to a serene, sunlit glade. The fragrance of wildflowers filled the air, and the gentle hum of bees added to the tranquil atmosphere. At the center of the glade stood an ancient tree, its limbs outspread as if embracing the earth and sky. The tree was adorned with glistening fruits that shimmered in the sunlight, their fragrance intoxicating. Wiyaka felt an inexplicable pull towards the tree as if it was calling to him. He approached it with cautious curiosity, the hardships of his journey momentarily forgotten. As he reached out to touch one of the glimmering fruits, a soothing voice echoed around him. "Greetings, Wiyaka," the voice said. "I am the spirit of temptation. This fruit can grant you immense strength, unparalleled wisdom, or the deepest desires of your heart. All you need to do is partake in its sweetness." For a moment, Wiyaka was mesmerized. But then, Wiyaka remembered his ancestors' tales. His people had always valued honesty, resilience, and integrity. He stepped back, shaking his head.
"I seek the treasure of my ancestors, not for personal gain, but to honor their memory and strengthen my tribe."
The spirit of temptation sighed with a note of respect in its voice. "You have chosen wisely, Wiyaka." As the voice faded, the tree and its tempting fruits dissolved into the air, leaving Wiyaka standing alone in the glade, his resolve even stronger. The fifth challenge is compassion. Wiyaka's journey through the wilderness had been long and arduous. One frosty evening, as he camped by a quiet brook, he heard a faint, desperate cry echo through the forest. Intrigued and concerned, Wiyaka followed the sound. His heart pounded as he navigated through the dense forest, driven by an instinctive need to help. After a tense search, Wiyaka found a small, injured fawn trapped in a thicket of thorny bushes. The creature's leg was caught in the sharp briars, and it trembled with pain and fear.
"Easy now, little one. I am here to help you."
Gently, he began the painstaking task of freeing the fawn from its prickly prison. Wiyaka whispered, gently stroking the fawn's head. For a moment, he felt a profound connection to the fragile life before him. The next morning, Wiyaka awakened to find the fawn standing unsteadily but upright. Believing that its mother might be nearby, he softly encouraged the young deer to return to the forest. As the fawn disappeared into the trees, Wiyaka felt a warm energy wash over him. The wind whispered approval, and he sensed the silent voices of his ancestors. He had passed the compassion challenge. The 6th challenge is sacrifice. Wiyaka arrived at a narrow gorge, the lush terrain around him having transformed into a barren and rocky landscape. His steps slowed as he took in the imposing figure of an ancient totem pole, its eyes seeming to follow him. As Wiyaka approached the totem pole, an ethereal voice filled the air, demanding the most precious sacrifice to unlock the path forward. Wiyaka's heart pounded as he pondered what he could offer. His fingers brushed a small, intricately crafted necklace, a gift from his mother, symbolizing his heritage. Trembling, Wiyaka removed the necklace and stepped towards the totem pole. With a deep breath, he placed the necklace at its base, fulfilling the sacred demand. The ground trembled slightly, and the totem pole began to glow with a soft light. The air shimmered, signaling the spirit's recognition of his sacrifice. With a sense of profound loss yet undeniable duty, Wiyaka began to cross the sturdy stone bridge, each step resonating with the memory of his sacrifice. Strengthened by his memories and the acknowledgement of his sacrifice, Wiyaka knew he would fulfill his sacred quest. The echoes of his ancestors' voices assured him that he was on the right path. Following the path, Wiyaka's eyes were set on the horizon where the treasures awaited. Each step forward was now guided by the wisdom and sacrifice of his journey. Wiyaka stood before the entrance of the ancient ruins, his heart pounding with anticipation. The towering stone pillars, weathered yet majestic, marked the beginning of the test of virtues that lay ahead. As Wiyaka ventured inside, sunlight pierced through the cracks in the ceiling, casting an ethereal glow upon the ancient stones arranged in a circle. An ancient voice filled the air, whispering through the ruins, calling Wiyaka to prove his lineage. The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, enveloping him in its ethereal tones. Wiyaka approached the first glowing stone, marked with the symbol of honor. He recalled a childhood memory of standing up for a friend, feeling the core of his being align with the virtue. Next, Wiyaka knelt before the stone of respect. He recited a prayer of gratitude, thinking of the wisdom imparted by his elders, and the stone shimmered brightly. Next, Wiyaka knelt before the stone of respect. He recited a prayer of gratitude, thinking of the wisdom imparted by his elders, and the stone shimmered brightly. The memories of his elders' teachings flooded his mind, filling him with reverence. The stone reflected his genuine respect for the wisdom of his forebears. The third test, the stone of resilience, required Wiyaka to reflect on his journey. Remembering the harsh hikes, weather, and moments of doubt, he felt his spirit grow stronger. Through every challenge he had overcome, his resolve and resilience were fortified. The stone acknowledged his indomitable spirit with a brilliant blaze. He thought of how he combined fact and intuition, guided by ancestors' wisdom. The stone's gentle glow affirmed his understanding and insight. He thought of how he combined fact and intuition, guided by ancestors' wisdom. The stone's gentle glow affirmed his understanding and insight. With all stones now illuminated, the ancient ruins came alive with energy. Wiyaka felt the virtues of his ancestors coursing through him, readying him for the trials yet to come. Wiyaka finally arrived at the sacred clearing, a place where the air was thick with ancestral energy. Here he would face the guardian of the ancestral treasure. Before him, a figure cloaked in mystery and power emerged, the guardian of the ancestral treasure. The guardian's voice resonated like the whispers of the past and the promises of the future. They posed the first riddle.
What binds us more than blood and outlasts the flow of time?
Wiyaka pondered deeply, drawing from the shared memories of his people.
It is the bond of our stories and the spirit of our kin.
The guardian nodded in approval, recognizing the truth in Wiyaka's words. The first test had been passed. The guardian posed another riddle, each question revealing deeper layers of wisdom.
Tell me, Wiyaka, what is the greatest sacrifice?
Wiyaka delved deep within himself, listening to the voice of his ancestors. He then spoke with clarity.
The greatest sacrifice is of oneself, for the greater good of all.
The guardian's gaze softened, recognizing Wiyaka's wisdom and selflessness. The final test had been passed. In a final crescendo of power and magic, the Guardian bestowed the ancient artifact upon Wiyaka. It pulsed with the energy of his ancestors. Wiyaka clutched the treasure in his hands, feeling a surge of energy that filled him with a sense of purpose and legacy. Wiyaka returned to his village, carrying the ancestral treasure with a sense of pride and fulfillment. The villagers gathered around, their faces lighting up with hope and curiosity. Wiyaka stood before his people, sharing the story of his journey and the wisdom he had gained. The artifact's light seemed to connect each listener to their rich heritage. Empowered by the treasure and the wisdom of their ancestors, Wiyaka and his tribe looked to the future with renewed hope. Together, they would honor the past and build a prosperous future.